to I guess, fight back twice and come so close. What were your thoughts on the performance overall?
I think the second and fourth quarter you're pretty pleased, but the first and third were really poor. We didn't look like we were, energy levels high, especially in the first. And, then we won clearances and we did a pretty good job around clearances in the first. We just couldn't capitalise. And then the third quarter was just a mess, really. They just won field position. I think we got the ball in 9 times in our forward 50, but I think they marked 6 of them. It's just like we just gave the ball back. But the second and third, last, you'd probably say, yeah, pretty good. But the game doesn't go for half a game. That's the problem. So that was the disappointing part.
The desperation in that fourth quarter, did you feel at any point that you might have got there?
Yeah, it got close, didn't it? And that's the part, this is my final game and Al takes over next week. But in the 10 weeks, and you sort of analyse it as a coach, in the 10 weeks we've had 4 games by under 9 points. And that's the part where you go, geez, if we just get good at, keep putting ourselves in this position and then finish games off, just like Collingwood did last year, they kept winning those close ones. And we're not at Collingwood's stage, but it's sort of like saying, we keep putting ourselves there and can we get across the line? That could turn from a 2 season, we've still got games to go, but we've won 2 games this season and you get that done, you could win 4. That's the nature of the game. So it can turn quickly, but we just haven't sort of done what we have to do in these close games, even towards the end. We were supposed to go man on man, we couldn't get it done, choose up another 20 seconds and the clock's only got a minute 32 on it. So now you're chasing your tail a bit. So they're just little things in the game that mean a lot.
Turnover figures weren't great. I think 69, 70 or something for North. Is that the young side needing to clean that up? Is that what you're talking about how quickly you can turn
a bit of that. There's a little bit around our structure, but there's some of it's the ball use, and I think we all live with a mistake that comes when someone's pulling your jumper and scragging you and all that. But it's the one when you're clean and you're out, and we don't maximise it. They're the frustrating ones, and I think we've had too many of those.
Yeah. Curtis had a topsy-turvy day, I guess. He missed that sitter early, then kicked 4 in the quarter, and then that late miss as well. How did you sum up his game today?
Probably exactly that. Up and down. But the pleasing aspect is he got some reward, and he hasn't hit the scoreboard as much as we'd like. So for him to finish with 4, I think it's a step in the right direction for him. And that's what we're getting. We're getting little wins from our players. We're not getting from here to here all the time. But you just take another step, and he builds confidence from that. And then next week we got Melbourne down in Tassie, and he'll have Hibbert or somebody on him, so he'll have to find a different way. But I think it's encouraging when you see those players developing like that.
And what was your message to him after the game in regards to that late miss? Obviously a tough situation for any player to be in there.
It really wasn't about individuals post-game. It was sort of just rounding off and me thanking the group for, their commitment. And, what I can tell you is, stepping in as interim, it can have some difficulties, but what I can say is the group and the respect that the group's shown me to step in there, I'm very grateful for that. And I thank them for, their part that they played, about their respect for me and following through and their effort that they gave. And I said, these close wins will turn around. You just got to keep putting yourself there, and it hurts when you don't win, but if you don't put yourself there, you don't have a chance, and that's what we've got to get better at it. So it really wasn't a lot today about trying to identify individuals and go. It was probably talking more around the journey that we just went on as a interim coach and a playing group.
Are you going to miss it?
I know, I'm on 198. So Johnny Bairstow has just ripped the bails off and I'm about that far short. I will miss some things, but I have really enjoyed my time. Because of the respect that they've shown me, and to come in and I've seen some growth in players, and sometimes it was hard decisions to put players back into the reserves or not elevate them, but I think we've seen some growth from individuals, and that's the bit about coaching, that you're there to try and help people, and sometimes you actually have to deliver the bad news, and hopefully they grow from it and become a bit sharper and get their game right. And that's some of the things that I've really enjoyed in this period.
Sorry, Brett, has it changed anything for you about sort of what you want to do going forward in coaching?
Not really. I think I said last time on SCN, I hope I'm not saying something for the other media outlets here, but I did say it felt a bit like the Dumb and Dumber scene where he looks at the good-looking girl and says, "Yeah, I'm a chance, one in a million." That's what it feels like going forward. But I think the game and that, it would be very surprising, and I've really got not that much ambition to be a senior coach.
How much can you learn as a midfield group by not taking advantage of that mismatch you had in terms of hide up forward with Larky on her?
We did a pretty good job. So you can take the advantage if you kick the ball right and he doesn't play well, and he played pretty well. He did a good job. So sometimes height looks attractive, but you don't get your benefits. And probably at the other end, we virtually had a 200 centimetre on a 186, so it just goes the other way. I think both teams just took run over height and tried to exploit that, but I think they probably got more of an advantage at their end than we got at our end.
Someone like Todd Goldstein leads your contested possession count today. How inspiring is that for your youngsters, seeing the veteran, the big veteran,
Yeah.
lead the way?
Yeah, it is. It's and that's what you hope from you. You look at Todd's performance, but then you look at Jack's performance coming on as a sub and having 8 possessions, and really led from the front and threw his body around. So that's what you hope your older boys do, and lead from the front and show the way. And for those 2 boys, did a pretty good job.
Do you hope he goes on next year if he's got that sort of form, late in the season?
I think that'll be a club decision. They're working through list management, and Al will, have a big say in that, with Brady and others that are in that group. But that'll be up to the club and work through. And you got to ask, does Todd want to too? 35, and the body doesn't recover like it used to. So they're conversations that are going on, and will continue. Yeah.
And just on Clarko, what can you tell us about his energy and what's he been like around the club?
Yeah, he's been good. He's been up and about, and grabbing groups of players and chatting to them and looking at vision and how we want to go about things. So from that point of view, and he hasn't just done from the coaching, he's done a bit of recruiting as well, and had a look at some games and had a look at Oppo games as well. So he's been quite busy in that space, but I think he's raring to go. Well, thanks everyone. That is 198 and out, I reckon, out. Good on you.